Welcome to the IslandStats.com football show, your weekly dose of all the action from Bermuda's top four leagues. We bring you in-depth coverage of the Premier and First Division, results, highlights, analysis, and exclusive interviews. We also keep you up to date with the latest news and developments from the Bermuda Football Association. Stay tuned for the IslandStats.com football show, your one-stop shop for everything you need to know about the beautiful game in Bermuda. Now let's join the IslandStats.com football show team. Well, good evening and welcome to yet another edition of the IslandStats.com football show. I'm your host, Earl Baston. Joining me is co-host Andrew Griffith and Garrett Punchy Dill. Gentlemen, season's greetings.
Sweet to you.
I hope you both had a wonderful, wonderful Christmas. And to our viewers and listeners, we hope the same to you as well, hoping that your Christmas was a good one. Well, gentlemen, we know who the finalists are. Let me run down the semifinal results of the Shield and Friendship, starting with the Friendship. It's the Dandytown Hornets 3, Devonshire Cougars 0, North Village Rams 1, Devonshire Colts 0. And in the Shield semifinals, it was Somerset Eagles 3, Wolves 1, Somerset Trojans 0, Robin Hood 0, with Robin Hood winning 4-1 on kicks from the penalty mark. So let's start off with the first semifinal of the Friendship. Dandytown Hornets going up against Devonshire Cougars. Dandytown Hornets, obviously the cup holders, looking to get back to their second consecutive final. Of late, Dandytown have been able to do the business, the top of the table at the halfway mark. Griff, was the scoreline a surprise? 3-0?
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised by that. I thought that Cougars was playing better, and it would be a chess match. Both of them going back and forth, and maybe the odd goal with it. But to win by after 3 goals is definitely surprising for me.
What about you, Punchy? That scoreline, was the 3-0 a surprise?
Yeah, a bit of a surprise. But after I started looking at the makeup of Dandytown's team and the young men and the young players that they had coming back, the selection that they had the quality they had to choose from, I kind of then I started realizing that they put it in their favor. I thought, well, they look like that could be a game that they could win. But a bit of surprise from that scoreline, though, the 3-0.
Of late, Punchy, Dandytown have been, getting the results they need, getting the goals they need. There's just been a unit that we were talking about at the beginning of the season when they started so positively. You think?
Yeah, Earl. I think that's what we talked about. Spoke about how the consistency must remain in the type of football that the new coach, what the new coach has started introducing to them. Mm-hmm. They have a very good passing game. There's quite a bit of quality in in areas. There's Dante Loverack that's still playing, mm-hmm. And I just thought maybe it's gonna take a little bit more time, but it seems to be coming together. And then when you add the young players coming back from college, and then you just, it just takes them to another level, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does take them to another level. Yeah, it does. I think that, again, look at the amount of goals that have been scored against them. Not a whole lot.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot. They keep a good bit of clean sheets. And that is also in their favor. When you resign yourself to playing that type of football, passing through the lanes, if you haven't, the amount of passes that they put together before they even reach the halfway line, then it's also got to be when you lose the ball, what do you do? And I think that's some of the things that he's put into place now. How do they get the ball back when they lose possession of the ball? And how well do they protect the ball not to lose possession in certain areas? So it looks like, there's going to be this game that's coming up between them and North Village. It's going to be real. It's going to be a real, I'm hoping, That will be a real treat for the fans that will come out and watch. You know.
Yeah. Griff, let's talk a little bit about Devonshire Cougars, because we've seen them, and you talked about it, the fact that they keep giving up so many goals. They're scoring goals, but they didn't score on Boxing Day. But the fact that they're giving up so many goals, it's got to be a cause for concern for them, especially against the second half of the season.
Yeah, because they attack beautifully and they can move the ball around well too. But again, like you say, they give up a lot of goals, and on that odd day when you can't score, this is gonna happen to you. You're not gonna win that 4-3 game if you're giving up 3. So it puts a lot of pressure on the strikers if they're giving up a lot of goals that they have to score. All of the chances that they get on the day when it's dry, they're gonna have to score more, and that fortunately, that's football is not gonna work for you every week.
Yeah, true. Yeah, which kind of puts them in a position of having to score more on a given Sunday. Yeah. Let me just ask Punchy the same thing, Punchy, about Devonshire Cougars. We remember a few years ago they had a solid defense. 2 of the mainstays of defending when they were rock solid. Now we're playing for Boulevard, and that's Mallory and Cox. You know, and they obviously they're missing Franks as well, but it's got to be a cause for concern for the coach. Your thoughts, Punchy, because they're giving up too many goals.
Yeah, definitely so, Earl and Griff. They just, again, the new coach comes in, different ideas onto the team, and the type of football, and of course you could buy into that. It looks attractive, but what do you do when you don't have the ball? And I think they're conceding too many goals, and that was a perfect example like that. On that game against Taunton, they probably had chances, but even if you have chances, if you lead 2-0, then you have got to be able to defend that. And I don't think they haven't come to terms with that yet. I think they're still in progress, a team in progress in terms of where they're going to go, what they want to do, and especially for, like, again, giving up goals. I just think that at times they're just too open. There's a lack of I would say quality, but there seems to be just a lack of the two. I don't know. Some of the goals that I've seen them concede, plus the goals that should have been scored against them. It's just really poor defending.
Yeah.
But Earl mentioned that a few defenders from a few years ago that are missing. But I think it's for teams that defend really well, it's 11 guys that gel together to defend as a unit. So that they're always in sync and they don't give up anything. Like together, they know where each other's going. They listen to instructions for other parts of the field and they shift and they change. Is a unit and there's a mindset. Like you can't defend well if you got 3 good defenders. Good teams will find a way to break you down. So it's the team together gelling together that puts out good defensive performances.
That's a valid point. It's a valid point. Yeah. So, all right. Well, let's turn our attention to that second semifinal last night. 1 goal between the teams, Devonshire Colts and North Village. We all remember the first game of the season where Devonshire Colts beat North Village, the first league game of the season. Now they meet in the semifinal, and again, Jonte Smith's the difference, Punchy.
Yeah, really much so. Again, when we look, it's a good point about Jonte. He's not really playing at his best, and I really do. He loses the ball a lot. He's not at his best yet. He has to come around, folks. Again, like the quality that we were seeing last year, but that happens, But one good thing he does have, the asset that he does have, you could give him 4 chances, another 4 chances to score 1, even in difficult situations. And I thought the goal, it was a well taken goal. But a lot of people without his craft wouldn't have scored that goal.
Right.
I just think that he's still struggling a bit. His I think that the coaching staff at Norfolk will have to discuss the fact that when Jonte stays in the middle, he comes out in the middle, he drops back a lot, almost like a Harry Kane.
Mm-hmm.
But there's still maybe he's trying too much. I think the coaching staff would have a look at that once, especially with because I know Jonte plays battle when he has two wide, quick players.
Mm-hmm.
Amir Deal is away on holiday, so he wasn't playing. So the coaching staff had to come to revert to a different system, of course. So that eliminates wider players' speed on the outside for Jonte, where he could just ball comes in turn, balls played back, balls played on the lines, balls in, and here comes Jonte. But it's not happening like that with Village. But again, imagine Jonte playing for Colts, who had a lot of possession the other night, but don't have that quality, don't lack that central figure that can put the good ball in the goal once you're dominating possession.
Griff, what's your thoughts?
So I think what we said earlier in the season, though, is that as defending champions, Village were not playing well. But if they got to hang around and the new players could gel with them that they got over the summer, and then you get the other players back from the Belco internship, if by Christmas you get all that back together and they're still close, Village might be a force to be reckoned with. And I think we're starting to see that now. That once they got players back, even Jaden Harvey had a lengthy suspension. He's back in the team now, and they've had other injuries, people coming back. So Village could be the team to look out for in the second half if things start to gel.
Yeah, I mean, we talked a bit about Devonshire Colts as well, and the position they found themselves in a title race, and in a semifinal. If you were, I guess, in the Devonshire Colts camp, what would you be saying now as you get ready now to focus on the second half of the season? Because you've had what some may consider some success thus far, Griff.
Yeah, I agree. They have something to build on. If they're not right there at the end, they will have a say on who does win the league. So they are a team to be reckoned with in the second half of the season.
Punchy, you talked about Devonshire Colts and a lot of possession. That's been one of Ray's, I guess, one of the things Ray has been working on with the team to try and dictate and control games. Is that something that they could use for the second half of the season?
Well, a good point, you guys. I'm glad you brought that up, Earl and Griff, about Devonshire Colts. Watching last night, good football, good control. Playing on the back. 60% of the game, they control, they play. What I find with them is this, sir. They lack, when the game is on edge, they lack a discipline. And I noticed that Alpha Norfolk scored a goal. Right? They weren't playing bad. It was just that they couldn't, in the final third, they weren't doing well. Then, when they went behind, they lacked discipline. And it started to get worse, the behavior of the players. And so instead of staying in the game, they eventually, and that game the score could end up really 3 or 4-0. But then I saw, the behavior of Devonshire Colts players, the discipline. When you're playing at that level and you're playing, you look like you're in control, but the goals are not coming. You got to have a little bit of discipline. And of course, character also, but character not to talk about kicking people, making stupid tackles, cussing on people and carrying on. I think that's what I witnessed last night. And, also, I just thought it was sometimes in the last 10 minutes that the behavior of some of the Devonshire Colts players was not very good. And that's what I would be concerned about them. The discipline. When these games are like that, especially a cup game, You think, you played well, but the goals haven't gone in. Then all of a sudden, you're playing against a team that you've had the majority of possession, and you look like you should win, but then the team scores, and then all of a sudden you lose your discipline. And I think they lack that. I think that's what they lack. Some of the players that we talked about that have been scoring goals, the young men scoring goals, he didn't have a bad game last night, but it was, what happened is that Norfolk really worked on preventing him from having a lot of space. They closed the space down. They matched him in speed. And so he didn't have a lot of clear-cut chances. And, they didn't play bad. But I just think that that's where they lack. And that would be up to Ray Jones to fix. Now, about behavior players of your players. When things are not going well, how you can still sustain concentration, and commitment, and just don't just fall apart. And I think that's what I witnessed last night with them.
Would you consider that a lack of maturity that they have? Because they have a lot of the players are still young. They've played for a while, but they're still young. But have they matured into? You know what I mean?
Good question, Earl. Good question again. Yep, I think so. That's what we're talking about. I think that's exactly about what Devon Scouts need. They were up on the beginning of the season, running away with points, beating everybody. Remember, they beat North Village convincingly down the field in a league game, and they were very good. But a lot of things were in their favor that day. They played well, they defended well, and then they came up, they scored and they won the game. But I just seen that, as the season wears on, you've lost to PHCs, you lost to maybe the Cougars, and then all of a sudden, you still have the self-belief about how to play the football game, but defensively, and that's what I think what we're talking about here, is a lack of that particular behavior. And are they young? Yeah, it's quite a bit of young guys, but you would expect there's a few young ones. But we're not talking about 16-year-olds. We're talking about players that are going into their 20s. And I think by now, that's one thing that they have got to fix about them. Otherwise, they're going to be on the receiving end on the type of games like that, where they will lose because of that particular part of the mentality. That's what I believe. They match any team for effort, quality in passing, organization, but that's what they lack. That's what happened to them last night.
Griff, you want to add anything?
I'm surprised we don't get people from Devonshire Colts sending them messages, because I think they would argue in the first game that it was Village's indiscipline that saw them lose the game between them. But I think in games between two teams that are evenly matched, it could take one moment or one lapse in a game to be the difference to give you a 1-0 result. So it's fine margins in teams of close. I think Village and Colts are probably going to be very close for the rest of the season.
Okay. All right. Well, let's take our first commercial break. When we come back, we'll look at the Shield semifinals from Boxing Day and last night. We'll be right back.
You ever crack open a Coke and just perfect?
It's that cold, classic hit that never lets you down.
Whether you're chilling with friends or just need a break, you can't go wrong with Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
Nothing else compares.
Proudly distributed by Butterfield and Vallis.
In Bermuda, Christmas just wouldn't be the same without Barrett's Ginger Beer. It's the sparkle in your holiday glass, the kick in your dark and stormy, and the taste that's been a part of Bermudian celebrations for generations. Proudly crafted and distributed by John Barrett & Sons, and available now at Lindo's. Whether you're mixing, toasting, or sharing the season, make it a true Bermuda Christmas with Barrett's Ginger Beer. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
Beneath the clear blue sky, where the ocean meets the land, and the long-tails fly in Bermuda. Our hearts belong to this beautiful island. As an island, We are strong, proudly Bermudian. In every single way, from the sunrise to the sunset. And every single day, for over 135 years. It's been clear, Lady Silence, proudly Bermudian. Bringing us near. Cause we are proudly Bermudian. Lady Silence, proudly Bermudian. Lady Silence, proudly Bermudian.
And welcome back. Well, the first Shield semi-final took place on Boxing Day up at Somerset Cricket Club, where the Somerset Eagles got by Wolves 3-1. Wolves scored first, although it was an own goal. The Eagles scoring all 4 goals of the game. Wolves took the lead, but then could not hold on to the lead with Somerset Eagles scoring 3 more times to win that 3-1. I think we would have, looking at it, Griff, Somerset Eagles, they Jekyll and Hyde, maybe?
Not for me. I picked Eagles last week to beat Rangers, so I believe they have a couple players for Christmas. So this isn't a shock to me. I expected Eagles to get by Wolves.
Okay. Punchy, your thoughts on Wolves themselves?
Well,
They didn't have a bad lineup. I saw the lineup, so they didn't have a bad lineup.
No.
Is it just where they struggle to gel together, maybe?
yeah, it's a few things that the problem is that exists in that camp. I just think that the coaching staff is not getting the best out of the players, and that was a really who would have thought that score? Who would have thought that score? What the hell? And I keep telling you, I say it all the time that well, there you go, Griff. Well, there you go, Griff. Yeah, make sure you yeah. But it's not even perplexing. It's just like they just don't understand. I just think that the coaching staff, they're not getting the best out of the players, and I still think that there's too much buddy system there. And they're not. I think it's always going to be like that until someone goes under. And again, I said last year, those were the same type of mentality that Dennis Bond instilled in them. That's what they need.
Yeah, some structure.
Structure. Yeah, a structure. And it's not happening by the results. And every time I go down there, again, I pass there, sit for 10 to 15 minutes. The numbers are there, but I just think that there's a lack of, when the coaching staff there, I'm not calling no names, but they're just not doing. They're just too friendly.
I think you're too close to it, because if you go to training at a lot of first division clubs, they are not premier clubs for a reason. It is like a bunch of friends, neighborhood guys. That's what they are until they go up and they can be a bit better. So I think you're seeing that because you're close to it. If you go to a lot of the other first division clubs, you'll see it again. But I think you're letting it cloud you, but keep picking Wolves and letting it cloud you. I'm gonna get some space between you when we make our pick.
No, but it's really something to recognize, you guys. About seriously, it's something to recognize that they can. I think there's more there than there's more. I just think that they are better than what we are seeing.
What the results are. Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, they are. They are better than what there is. And there's things that need to be addressed, and they haven't done it. And we're talking about, I was talking about this last year, the same thing, and it hasn't been fixed. So that just tells you that there's got to be a change of direction in coaching staff down there, and the leadership of the team. I've talked to the president, young, progressive. He knows what he wants, but at his disposal, who's coaching that club, they're not doing a very good job. They're not really doing a good job. I'm telling you guys that they're not.
I know. A few years ago, you was talking about seeing if Ralph wanted to coach Wolves. He's in the area and so forth. Has that even been a conversation? Do you know if that a conversation has been had in that regard?
I'm not sure. I think Gumbo was prepared to do. I think that conversation might have been had, but I think Gumbo was prepared to take on the responsibility of the vice presidency of North Village, and I don't think that he needed. I think he just needed a break from coaching after down the Crossroads. But I think I think he might have been approached. He turned it down, and so I think he would have been a perfect choice for them, a good choice for them. But that's what I believe about that. That's what I really believe about the Wolves. And like you guys, I say it every week, don't I?
Yeah.
And then the results speak for itself.
Yeah.
It's
Griff, you say something?
No, I think he was heavily involved before. I know he even played Masters with him last year while he was still on the executive of Village. So it's like, I believe, is this the same coaching team that won coaching honors in the Premier like 2-3 years ago? I think it's the same staff.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not. They haven't changed. I think it's the players they have at their disposal, but it's not. Again, I don't think it's uncommon to these first division clubs what they go through.
Well, let's turn our attention to last night's match. 120 minutes, no goals, and then Robin Hood would advance 4-1 on kicks from the penalty mark. We knew going into this game, Punchy, that it was going to be not much to separate these two teams who played a few weeks ago, and Robin Hood won 2-1 up at Somerset Cricket Club. But here they are in the semifinal. Was the final result a surprise for you, Punchy?
Not really. I just think that when I really watched, when I watched the game because I didn't see the game when Robin Hood beat them up at Somerset, but I saw the game, much of the game last night. And there's still, again, Somerset's full of young players, very young players. And I think they're trying to rebuild an institution from the bottom up, which is good, which is really good. But you don't have the same type of player like Kishan Bean. Somerset don't have that type of player, that the seniority which Robin would have. And so you could see the difference, even though they won on penalties. But I still think that you could see with the young players that play for Robin Hood, having Keith Shunder as an older player and Mandus playing. Toria, yeah, it's a difference. And I think that's what Somerset lack right now. But, on both of those teams, they will need vast improvements if they are both promoted. Vast improvements. I'm telling you, in terms of maybe not only quality, stamina, the physical conditioning, and then it depends, who, in terms of the numbers that they have. Somerset might have numbers, but the quality numbers. And when I look at so many young players, and again, hats off to them for what they're attempting to do. But for me, they're just a rebuilding institution. Right.
Griff, your thoughts on the result of Trojans and Robin Hood?
Just like Punchy, these are two teams that we're both expected to get promoted, that are up top of the first division. So we wouldn't expect that there's a big gap between them. So them playing out to a 0-0 draw, not surprising. But again, when you get down to penalties, that's when you expect the older, more mature heads to take over and help to guide you through the penalty shootout, which is seemingly what happened. But that said, if you're asking older legs to play 120 minutes or extended minutes for football, that may impact them in the final. Are those legs able to rejuvenate for the final? We'll see that might be what equalizes them with Eagles. So maybe something interesting happens in the final because of them playing 120 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen through the season, now that it's only 6 teams in the first division, we've seen Somerset lead the league through goal difference over a team like Robin Hood. But Robin Hood, obviously, with Keisha being the leading goal scorer, way out in front, he will be one that every team would have to keep an eye on. And Eagles will definitely have to keep an eye on in the final. Actually played for Eagles at one point in his career. You know,
Kenny was coach. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, it's interesting matchups, but you know, when you talk about kick from the penalty mark, I always say this, and Punchy, correct me if I'm wrong, that walk from the halfway line to the center spot, with all the noise going on around you, you know, it takes the person's inability to block out all of that, decide which way to go and just go kind of thing. But a lot of players, that mental part, that's where they shut down. You think?
You know what, you guys? When I watched all the penalties taken, right, I got to applaud the goalkeepers.
Yes.
Especially Somerset's goalkeeper. No, Robin Hood's goalkeeper, the young goalkeeper, which is Curtis Jackson's son, who's got some of these saves, and the penalties were good penalties. But I got to give him applaud, that young man, both goalkeepers, for the shots that they saved. I mean, you guys, I'm telling you, a lot of those penalties were well taken.
Yes.
There was no, I couldn't tell you about a penalty. There was a bad penalty from both teams. But I got to give my hats off to both goalkeepers, and he saves them in. But a special mention to the young Curtis Jackson's son, the Robin Hood goalkeeper. Whoa.
Yeah.
You know,
a product of Dandyton too.
Okay. Yeah. He's not that tall right now.
Right.
Right. But his decision making on that in those penalties were excellent.
And remember, his part of the National Academy as well, because he played with the under-17s, I believe, in the last tournament they played in. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it was the under-17s. So he's got that international experience as well. So, you know, he carries that through. And you know, when you've had that experience, you got to at crucial times, it kind of comes out. It shows itself.
You know what else? What else was very noticeable, you guys, was that both goalkeepers, after they made the saves, the demeanor was like jumping all up and down. They stayed calm. Each of them would pet, you know, give fists to one another. I thought it was such a good, respectful. Those are the things I look for. I look for the type of moments that when, even in Bermuda, you know, when it's not going your way, or when you've done something great, how well you accept it, how well you receive it. And I thought that I just very, very excited about what I saw with both goalkeepers, Somerset and Robin Hood's goalkeepers, for the future of the country.
Yeah, Griff?
So going back to the penalties, I think you can go to just about all of the coaches that we brought on the show and talk to a few others. Most of them will tell you, I think all of them will tell you, that when it comes time to take penalties and they go looking for 5, they don't get like 8 guys jumping up. They said you have to struggle. People will not make eye contact. Walk. Is that it's not 5 guys that jump right up. No matter what you do in training, who's at the most times, when it comes down to the day and there's a crowd there and everything's on the line, you have to scrape the all right, this is my definite 3. And he has to go looking with 2 other people. Not everybody wants to take the penalties. And so it says something for those guys that step up and do take it. But some of them, I guarantee you, will force. Like, look, you're to take it. And they're trembling when they go take it. It's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, it's a good thing they don't have to carry the ball from the halfway line to see how many times they drop it.
Yeah, right. I mean, I've been in that situation, and Griffin, you're right, because I remember one of the games that we were playing when we were Triple Crown. We had to take penalties out. I think it was a Martin Murray semifinal, and it came as I forget who we were playing against. And when it came down, of course, when we started to take the penalties, I remember, Joe Trott and Sam Joe Trott and Larry. They would come. Listen, okay, Gumbo, we know you're gonna take it. You're gonna take the first one. We need you to lead off. The first two are most important. That's what
Mhm.
And then I took one. David Schrader took another, and Randy Bean took one. It was 5. I think.
Right.
Yeah, Gumbo, Joe Trott, myself, David Schrader, and it was one more. I don't know. It was Randy Bean and my brother Kelvin.
Uh-huh.
We eventually won the game, but
Right.
I think it might have been Rangers. But it was like you got to have an idea of who your 2 best penalty takers.
Right.
First of all, you always got to start with 2 good penalty takers,
Mhm.
and then the rest, like you said, it's not like okay, you're gonna do this. This is we know what's gonna happen. Sometimes it's just like okay, are you ready for this? And some people are not.
Right.
And it's 100 times worse when you get into the second part. Because we're reading parts, they got to read them. Everybody does read like,
Yeah.
Because it's sudden death then.
yeah, that was,
Sudden death,
You go,
Well-
no, you go first.
Well, World Cups have been lost like that.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
Because it's that mental thing, that long, lonely walk. You see sometimes players run because they want to hurry up and get it over and done with. Put the ball down. They don't want the goalkeeper. You know, sometimes the goalkeeper stands there, holds the ball, wants you to take it from him so you can steer in the eyes and all of that. No.
Mhm.
Put the ball down,
Maybe,
go back, and
maybe that's why you want to guy that plays cricket and football, because I used to taking a long walk from the pavilion out to the wicket.
Yeah.
Taking penalties is about confidence in one's ability. to
Exactly.
get the ball
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that,
Yeah.
because I mean, during my time, I took a lot of penalties, but it was just you pick your spot, you train at it, you practice at it a
Yeah.
lot. You know, you iron that, you hone that craft of where you want the ball to come off your foot and so forth. And you know, you try different things in training, but you go to your number one spot each time, and it's penalty time. And it's about having confidence in yourself and what you've worked on, and away you go. And but one thing, Punchy, you talked about is the goalkeeper does the same thing. He works on making penalty saves as well.
Oh yeah. But at the highest level,
Yeah.
when you go into the cup games, the Carabao Cup, or
Mhm.
when those coaches, the coaching staff have already done the homework.
Yeah.
In terms of so imagine you're right footed, and we know he always goes to the left of the goalkeeper. When he comes, they study so much.
Oh yeah.
They
Oh, yeah.
just, but just in any instance, you're gonna be confident. You have to pick your spot. Pick your spot. Don't change your mind. Make sure you plant your foot well. Your approach is gonna be good. And then a lot of times, me and my brother used to watch some, going back in years ago. He used to do 20 steps, how far back, how many steps they took back away from the ball.
Right. Right.
Nowadays some guys only take 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
But before it used to be not.
5 or 6 is comfortable because you just
5 or
wanna get
6 is
enough
comfortable.
speed.
Oh yeah, 5 or 6 is comfortable,
Yeah.
and your run up is so important. And
Yes.
like I said, just make your decision, and that's all you're really told. And you could practice it over and over again. But when you're taking it in front of 40, 50,000 people, well, oh yeah,
40, 50,000.
That's
4 or
all out
5.
that's all out the window. They got 4 or 5.
exactly. That could be out the window.
On New Year's Day for the trophy. Hey, you gotta make sure you hit this. Like,
Yeah,
no miss.
exactly. Well done, Chris. Yeah, that's out the window sometimes, man.
Yeah, you gotta go on that.
Yeah.
I just want to get this penalty over with.
Yeah. You don't want to know the referee wants to talk to the player that has got to be booked or something else going on, and the longer it takes, you standing there. Sometimes it's best to just walk away, have a conversation with somebody, and clear your mind. Then wait for that whistle to be blown, and then go back into to do what you got to do. But that's kick from the penalty mark is hit or miss. So yeah, let's take.
But again,
yeah.
Lou, if my team has players that have been in finals and taken penalty before, it's going up against a team of all 17-year-olds that's in the first final, I like my chances.
Sure, without a doubt. But on the day that goalkeeper might step up.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, let's take our second commercial break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about the matchups for the final on New Year's Day. We'll be right back.
It's the little things that make the holidays special. The smell of cassava pie in the oven, the sound of laughter in the kitchen, and that one person who swears they're just tasting the mac and cheese. At Lindo's, we've got everything you need for your holiday table, from fresh produce to the family favorites that make the season complete. Because every great meal starts with a good trip to the store. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
Pink sands beneath the clear blue sky, where the ocean meets the land, and the long tails fly in Bermuda. Our hearts belong to this beautiful island. As an island, we are strong, proudly Bermudian. In every single way, from the sunrise to the sunset, and every single day, for over 135 years, it's been clear, Regis Island's proudly Bermudian, bringing us near. Cause we are proudly Bermudian. Regis Island's proudly Bermudian. Regis Island's proudly Bermudian.
You ever crack open a Coke and just... perfect.
It's that cold, classic hit that never lets you down.
Whether you're chilling with friends or just need a break, you can't go wrong with Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
Nothing else compares.
Proudly distributed by Butterfield and Vallis.
And welcome back. Well, gentlemen, on New Year's Day at 2 p.m. at the Wellington Oval, the Friendship Final will feature the Dendy Town Hornets and the North Village Rams. These two teams have met in this particular final twice before. In, I believe it was 97 and 2006, with North Village winning both matches 2-1. Dendy Town Hornets are the defending champions. They won the match this year on New Year's Day, but they go into another final looking to defend it. Griff, the matchup, what's your thoughts on these two teams and how you think the battle will go? Not who will win, just how that battle will go.
I think you see a carbon copy of what happened with Somerset and Trojans and Robin Hood. It's two evenly matched teams that can go back and forth, and it might take 120 minutes for penalties to produce a winner.
Interesting. Punchy, what do you think?
Good point. Yeah, Griffin. Like the other night, last night when I watched Northridge play, and Damage Coats, they took a long time to settle down and play. You know, maybe the rush, the adrenaline for being in the semifinal. You know, the amount of people, there was quite a bit of crowd up there also. But for me, when we look at both teams and the style they play, North Village, let's go to North Village first. They play a lot from back to front. You know, they play a counter-attacking game, but they almost play almost like five at the back at times, which has been successful, which has been successful thus far. But they will it work when you're playing against the likes of Dante Leverock? That means Dante Leverock against Jonte Smith, and that will be a real battle. But I just think because they're both older now, so that's a real gonna be a one-on-one battle there. Then we're looking at which team will control possession, which I think Dendytown will. How Northridge is set up defensively is going to be very interesting because the fact is Dendytown have some very good, sharp young players that are back for the holiday also. And they are based as a possession. They are playing on a possession-based team. But Northridge is also And then you look at Norfolk in terms of how many, like the other night, last night against Devonshire Coast. Devonshire Coast didn't have a lot of clear-cut chances. The work that's been instilled, and the mentality that's been instilled in Norfolk is that, okay, everybody from the back to the front, the work rate has increased, closing space down. What they lack is that Norfolk is still lacking quality in a lot of in the midfield area, I think. So it's gonna be interesting to see how both teams react. So what you got this passing team, then you got a more direct team, which is odd for North Village, but it's been successful with the players that he has. From as I talked to the coach, it's gonna be interesting. The weather, how would I predict this? It's gonna be both teams got potent finishers. That's what's gonna finish. That's what's gonna win that game. That will win that game, I think.
Well, Griff, remember, at the beginning of the season, it was clear that Dandytown had North Village's number. They beat them in the charity. They beat them in the Dudley Eve. It was just one of those things where they had their number. Do you think psychologically they still have that edge over North Village?
I don't think so. Because again, from Arrow when we used to go, what's the Janet Jackson song? What have you done for me lately? Isn't like short memories. So like if you're playing well now, I don't care what happened 3 months ago. It's what's going on now. It could be the team could be completely changed from what was playing in September. More people out, people injured, people suspension, people work commitments. So what happened then? I think they forget about it for the most part. Like we're both in the final, and we both deserve to be in the final. Who are you bringing on a given day? And let's see what you got.
Yeah, Punchy, you're close to it. But what's your thoughts on that? Because do you think Dandytown will still have that psychological edge over North Village?
No, I agree with Griff. I think that on a given day now, I think the coaching staff is kind of found a way, because I think the last time they played, North Village beat them.
Yeah.
The last meeting, yeah. So North Village has found a way to have, to deal with that situation, the psychological thought about playing against Dandytown, and it always happens. And it happens worldwide, doesn't it? But I think it's with the new with the coaching staff now, they've instilled in North Village players about the belief system and the way they play, and everybody's buying into it. And it's worked. It's working. It's not sometimes attractive, but I think they can. I think that, like you said, I think they mentally they've gotten over that stigma, that belief that Dandytown is one goal better than them. I do really believe that.
Yeah.
Let me use a Formula One reference. If you have a better car, all of a sudden you look like a better driver. So if you get back better players that you didn't have before, you look like a better team. So things can change fast.
Okay.
Yes, good point. Another good point. Yes, Griff.
Yeah. Well, let's turn our attention to that first match, because it should be entertaining. Robin Hood go into this match looking for their first Shield win title. Somerset Eagles go into this match looking for the third Shield title win. But obviously we've seen the firepower that Robin Hood has throughout the league. Just that matchup, Punchy, looking at Somerset Eagles and Robin Hood, how they will square off on New Year's Day. Oh
yeah, that's that scoreline, Robin Hood. Not Robin Hood, Somerset Eagles victory. But then you see the person that's been scoring, the Jamaican guy that's playing center forward for him, the live wire. I haven't heard too much, but then all of a sudden I see why they are probably scoring goals. But you know what's interesting about that? All of a sudden, like that scoreline, with Wolves that bad or with Somerset Eagles that good. But I think we're in for an interesting matchup down there. Hopefully the occasion don't get the battle of Robin Hood, because they all got some very talented players there.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be interesting how they will deal with this. The person that's scoring this goal for Samson Eagles to set him forward. From what I hear, he's robust, is quick, and he's the one that's been scoring goals for him. So it'd be interesting. It'd be an interesting encounter. Who would I pick for that?
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Yeah,
We'll
okay.
get to that.
Yeah.
Griff, what's your thoughts on this matchup?
Again, like when you make it to a final, both teams should be pretty even. But I think, like Opunji said, you have to give the edge just in experience to Robin Hood. But that said, like Eagles, I think they do have some X factors in there. And again, some Robin Hood had to play 120 minutes. How much of a toll that took on them, we'll see. Because when you get at a 0-0 game and you're deep 70, 75 minutes, will you see players cramping? Will be muscles be pulled? Will they not be able to make that run deep down into the corner flag, like 30-yard run on there in late moments of the game? It could be interesting. But you might get youth triumphant over an experience in that situation. So I think it should be a pretty even game, although Robin Hood should have the edge, but it should be a good game.
Yeah, okay. All right, Punchy, we're gonna come to that part where we pick New Year's Day winners. Obviously the first match. Well, we'll go with the friendship match, and I will go first, and I'm going to take the Dandytown Hornets to defend their title. Punchy?
I think good question. I think, you know what? In my heart, I think North Village. I'm gonna go with North Village for this one.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with North Village in terms of just the tenacity. I think they'll show up on that day, the tenacity, and I'm going with North Village for this.
Okay. Griff, you're gonna take the referees to make it a split.
Yeah, I was hoping Punchy would pick different, like, but just because I think Earl's gonna slide and making picks. I think Earl's making 4 decisions. I'm gonna go North Village.
Okay. All right. Okay. So Punchy, you're first. Somerset Eagles or Robin Hood?
Hey, I just think this is going to be a difficult call because on any given day, like, especially a team like Somerset Eagles, just what they did the other night to get to this final. This is going to be hard. I just hope the occasion will get the. I said earlier in the show, the occasion will get the battle of Robin Hood players. They're young, but you got Keisha and Bean there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with Robin Hood on this one. I'm going to go with Robin Hood because once they won the penalty shootout, you can see the enthusiasm, you can see the camaraderie and the people that follow him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going with Robin Hood to beat them on this thing.
Griff?
You know what, like, just to keep pushing it all up and to I'm gonna pick the upset. I'm going Eagles.
Okay.
Give you guys a chance.
Okay. You are gonna give me a chance because I'm gonna take Robin Hood.
Hey, all you Eagles fans out there that probably sealed it. You guys didn't have to show up. These guys jinx Robin Hood.
St. David's
good big
teams that wear St. David's colors don't play well in St. George's.
Hey, Eagles real red jersey.
Well, I just want to say to you guys, thank you very much for this first half of the season. It's been wonderful. We look forward to the 2026 second half of the season. And may I wish you all a happy new year when it comes. And we'll have our first show on January 4th. So it'll be a new year when we next see each other. Hopefully this end of the year ends well for each and every one of you. And good luck to the teams in the final. Griff, any parting words?
Yes, just to let the viewers out there know, we do take the constructive criticism good and bad. So still last week that we need licks for being on the Bermuda Football Show and wearing EPL jerseys. I wore my throwback Bermuda Football tracksuit jacket. So if there's anybody else that wants to give me a club's jersey, I'll take them all. But I'll try to wear Bermuda Football Club jerseys.
Punchy, yourself?
Oh yeah, it's been wonderful working with you guys for the first half of the season. The shows hopefully, like you said, in Europe, hopefully we have a call-in show. But it's very important that like a show like this is happening, and we can at least have a discussion about it. I would like to say also that hopefully I continue on development of referees. I thought there were good decisions made the other night, but I just think that the referees and the young people on the line, I think, they hats off to them also, the criticism they get. And they're still, keeping their hands up and keep showing up. Again, I hope that, for the viewing public, for the games that are played on New Year's Day, that there's quality there, there's discipline, and overall, entertainment. And what is most important, I think, you guys, when up there the other night, I don't know if you guys were there, but the amount of young people that are back from school that play overseas. I mean, wow. We're talking about footballers that are in academies. We might not hear about them, but they're there. And, the challenge for this country and for the clubs and for the coaching staff of both clubs, of all clubs now, are going to be that what can you deliver? Because these young people they've been educated now in England, whether it's in Spain, wherever they are. And, they're very smart and again, educated at a younger age. So I've heard conversation with these young men, and it's not like it's really something. It's really good that when they come back to their own country, they can witness quality and talk amongst themselves about what they see. Like for instance, my grandson, who's up there in Sheffield, having a discussion with him about what he witnessed the other night in North Village. He was talking about how they play back to front. They need a little bit more passing ability, And it's good. What I'm saying most of all about it, it's good, and I'm sure that it will be quite a bit of them down there on Monday to witness the football, jamboree, if I call it, or football games. And it's important that we all behave correctly. The players act accordingly. The refereeing is good, and that's also important. And have a good showing of Bermuda football tradition over the holiday. That's what I'm hoping for. And of course, again, you guys, for the people that watch, hopefully we get more comments, and it's great. It's great working with you guys.
All right.
But can I just add one more thing on the refereeing? What Bunchy said.
Sure.
So I have a funny story of a game that I went to recently, where the match commissioner was running to the gate after the game. What's going on there? So, the referee was so young to get to the gate to make sure the mother could get in to pick him up. He didn't have any transportation in him. So it's good that the parents are also helping us to assist the referees. So hats off to the parents, because I don't think I would have the wherewithal, the ability to let my young son or daughter walk the line at a Presidential Premier game and take some of the abuse. So hats off to the parents for sticking their kids in the midst of it.
Yeah. And we look forward to, obviously, we know that, while we're waiting for the official word, that the four officials have been retained onto the FIFA list for the 2026 season. And hopefully, with World Cups coming up, we get one of those, or maybe all of them, involved in some sort of form, shape, or form of a World Cup or a Gold Cup, something that we can stick our hats on and say that
even if it's warm up games for the World Cup, there's gonna be a lot of them. Leading up to go into the United States. So all experience is good experience.
That's true.
It's quite a bit to look forward to, because the under-17 national team is going for World Cup qualifiers, I think in February, down in Toronto. I think it's on the list, and that's a question mark also, you guys.
We have the boys and the girls playing. Remember, the girls are hosting here in Bermuda.
That's right.
The boys are going abroad. So there's a lot of international football that's going to be played in 2026. And then we kick right back in with the senior teams. The women play in March, the men play June, and September. There's a lot of football in 2026, both locally and internationally. So something to look forward to. So with that, we say Happy New Year to each and every one of you. Enjoy the rest of your night. We look forward to seeing you on January 4th.
Take care, everybody.
Okay.
Take care, guys.